A serene day at the New Delhi Zoo turns into a harrowing nightmare when a young man comes face to face with one of nature's most powerful predators, a white tiger. What drove him into the beast's lair? Was it curiosity, carelessness, or something deeper? Witness the chilling account of this real-life encounter that left everyone stunned and raises questions about safety, human instincts, and the untamed power of wildlife. Welcome to Savage Tales Animal Encounters, the channel where we dive into the wildest, most fascinating and sometimes terrifying stories of humans and animals crossing paths. Today, we're delving into the tragic story of Maqsood Khan, a man whose encounter with a white tiger at the New Delhi Zoo turned fatal. But this isn't just about what happened. It's about why it happened, the aftermath, and what this story teaches us about respecting the boundaries of nature. So buckle up, because this is a story you won't forget. Before we dive into the heart of this gripping tale, let's take a moment to connect. If you're someone who loves exploring the raw, untamed side of nature and the unforgettable moments when humans and wildlife collide, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that like button if this story piques your interest, and share it with your friends and family who love a good animal encounter. We want to hear your thoughts too. What do you think about zoos, safety and human curiosity? Drop your comments below. We're reading and responding to every single one. Don't miss out on any of our thrilling stories by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell. That way you'll be the first to know every time we upload a new story from the wild side of life. Thank you for your support. It's what keeps us exploring these incredible tales. All right, let's jump into today's story of daring, danger and nature's raw power. Welcome to Savage Tales Animal Encounters, where we bring you stories that are as wild as the animals themselves. It was a typical sunny afternoon at the New Delhi Zoo, with families, tourists and wildlife enthusiasts strolling through the park, eager to catch glimpses of exotic animals. Among the bustling crowd was 20-year-old Maqsood Khan, a factory worker with a fascination for tigers. Witnesses later reported that Maqsood appeared unusually captivated by the white tiger enclosure, where Vijay, an 8-year-old tiger, prowled in his habitat. The white tiger exhibit, surrounded by a moat and a low metal barrier designed to keep visitors at a safe distance, was a popular attraction. Visitors stood by, marveling at Vijay's sleek white coat and piercing gaze, a stark reminder of the raw power of nature. Maqsood, however, seemed more than intrigued. His actions suggested a mix of curiosity and recklessness. Ignoring the zoo's warning signs and verbal instructions from on-site security, Maqsood crossed the low barrier that separated spectators from the edge of the enclosure. Several visitors noticed him leaning over the moat wall, dangerously close to the edge. A guard reportedly warned him twice to step back, emphasizing the risks of his actions. But Maqsood, either undeterred or oblivious, continued to linger perilously close. Then, in an instant, tragedy struck. Accounts vary as to whether Maqsood slipped while attempting to get a better view, or if he intentionally jumped into the moat. Regardless of his intent, the result was the same. He tumbled 18 feet down into the enclosure, landing near the moat's edge. Gasps of shock rippled through the crowd as people realized what had happened. Maqsood, disoriented but uninjured from the fall, quickly found himself face to face with Vijay. The tiger, initially curious, approached cautiously, sniffing the air and studying this unexpected intruder in its domain. Maqsood froze in place, his hands folded in a gesture of prayer, as if pleading for mercy. Meanwhile, zoo visitors began shouting and throwing objects into the enclosure in an attempt to distract the tiger or scare it away. Unfortunately, these frantic efforts only seemed to heighten the tension. For several agonizing minutes, the situation hung in a delicate balance. Vijay continued to observe Maqsood intently, his powerful frame motionless but brimming with latent energy. Zoo security personnel rushed to the scene, but their initial response was woefully inadequate. A lone guard armed with nothing more than a baton arrived first. Desperate calls for backup were made, but tranquilizer guns and reinforcements were still minutes away. As the crowd's panic grew, so did the intensity of the moment. The tiger's instincts began to take over. And then the unthinkable happened. Vijay, the white tiger, suddenly broke the stillness, his body taut with energy as he pawed at the ground and edged closer to Maqsood. The young man, paralyzed with fear, remained crouched in the moat, his hands still clasped in silent pleading. For a few seconds, it seemed as though the tiger might remain passive. But the noise of the panicked crowd, the shouting and the stones thrown into the enclosure agitated the already tense situation. In an instant, Vijay's predator instincts fully engaged. He lunged forward with a swift, powerful motion, closing the distance between himself and Maqsood in a heartbeat. His massive paw reached out, swiping at the man with a force that sent him sprawling backward. Witnesses described hearing Maqsood scream in terror, but the sound was quickly drowned out by the horrified gasps of onlookers. Vijay then pinned Maqsood to the ground, his razor-sharp claws holding him in place. The tiger's immense size and strength were on full display as he tilted his head, seemingly deciding his next move. With a sudden motion, Vijay clamped his powerful jaws around Maqsood's neck. The young man's body went limp almost immediately, a sign that the bite was fatal. Despite Maqsood's quick demise, Vijay did not release his grip. Instead, he dragged the lifeless body deeper into the enclosure, away from the moat and into the grassy area where he typically lounged. Onlookers screamed and pleaded for help, some continuing to throw objects at the tiger in a futile attempt to intervene. Zoo staff arrived moments later, but it was already too late. Armed with sticks and making loud noises, they tried to distract Vijay, hoping he would retreat into his indoor enclosure. Some staff members banged on the steel gates of the cage, a signal the animals associated with feeding time. Vijay momentarily dropped Maqsood's body, but stayed close, circling it protectively. The tiger seemed to toy with the lifeless form, dragging it back and forth across the grass, his actions resembling a predator with its prey in the wild. After several agonizing minutes, the zoo team managed to lure Vijay into a separate holding area by simulating feeding sounds. Only then could they safely approach and retrieve Maqsood's body. The scene that unfolded after the attack was one of shock, grief, and chaos. Visitors, many of whom had recorded the incident on their phones, were left visibly shaken, some weeping while others vented their anger at the zoo staff for not responding faster. The body of Maqsood Khan, now badly mauled, was removed from the enclosure approximately 2 hours after the initial attack. A police team arrived to secure the area, interviewing witnesses and zoo personnel to piece together the series of events that led to the tragedy. Zoo officials faced immediate criticism for their lack of preparedness. Questions arose about why tranquilizer guns weren't on hand and why the zoo's emergency response was so delayed. Amitabh Agnihotri, the zoo director, defended the staff's efforts but admitted that the tranquilizers were stored 350 feet away in the zoo hospital and could not be accessed in time. The tiger, Vijay, was unharmed during the incident but became the center of public fascination. Visitors flocked to the zoo in the days following the tragedy, curious to see the animal that had become infamous overnight. Some called for Vijay to be relocated or even euthanized, though conservationists and zoo officials were quick to defend the tiger, emphasizing that he had acted on instinct. An investigation by the police and the Central Zoo Authority found that Maqsood's actions were the primary cause of the incident, as he had ignored clear warning signs and verbal instructions to stay behind the barrier. However, the report also highlighted gaps in the zoo's safety measures and emergency protocols, prompting calls for significant reforms in zoo management across India. The tragic death of Maqsood Khan remains a chilling reminder of the fine line between fascination and fatality when humans interact with wildlife. While the loss of life was heartbreaking, the incident underscored the importance of respecting the boundaries set in place for both human and animal safety. It served as a stark warning about the dangers of underestimating the primal instincts of nature's most powerful creatures. And that brings us to the end of this tragic and thought-provoking story. Maqsood Khan's encounter with Vijay the white tiger is a stark reminder of the incredible power and unpredictability of wildlife, and the dangers of stepping outside the boundaries of safety. These stories serve as important lessons, showing us why respecting nature is not just a choice, it's a necessity. If this story captivated you or gave you something to think about, we'd love your support. Hit that like button to let us know you enjoyed this video and share it with others who are as intrigued by the wild world as you are. What's your take on this tragic event? Was it purely misadventure? Or could more have been done to prevent it? Let us know in the comments below. Your insights help keep this channel alive with engaging discussions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we upload more of these incredible animal encounters. Your support is what keeps us exploring these tales from the wild. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this amazing community. Remember, the wild world is as beautiful as it is unpredictable. Always respect its power. This is Savage Tales Animal Encounters, where we share stories that are as wild as the animals themselves. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.